Have you ever achieved something, but instead of feeling proud, you think, I just got lucky, I really didn't deserve this? Or you're about to achieve something big and you think, it's not really going to be good enough because something is missing, something is not quite there yet. Well, welcome to the world of the impostor syndrome. This is something that unfortunately affects many of us, since more than 60% of people around the world, actually 72% of professionals around the world suffer from this. And not only professionals, actually all people, simply the feeling of not being good enough. And unfortunately, this is something that affects more women than men. Actually, 72% of women versus 40% of men are affected by imposter syndrome, according to recent reports. Find the links below. This is sad, but we need to talk about it. We need to say things openly. That's why I'm doing this video. Last weekend, I met a really nice group of female founders from my beloved group of female founders lab of the Vienna Business Agency. Thank you again for this. And it so happened that we all were going to have a lunch and we were just discussing about it. It was a coincidence. We really didn't plan for this. And we were just discussing how we were feeling. And it so happened that we were all feeling like, oh my God, what is going to happen if it doesn't work? You know, what do we do if, we have put so much effort, so much dedication, energy, love, you name it. And what if it doesn't work? And what if it's not good enough? So we were having this amazing discussion of what to do and, how to overcome it. This is why I decided to do this video, to acknowledge what the imposter syndrome is and to give you 3 tips on how to overcome it and just live with it. So first, what is imposter syndrome? It's a feeling, it's an emotional state actually. When you feel that you are not competent as other people think you are, and suddenly someone is going to realize that, and suddenly people are going to know, oh my God, is this sort of faking it? It's not really true. And this is actually something growing in society because of the enormous pressure that people are already on, mainly because of social media, perhaps, in this constant comparison between people, or in this enormous competition worldwide, when you feel like there's so many competent people out there, perhaps they're even more competent than you. So that makes you have a little bit of insecurities on what you really are or what you are achieving. So that is what it is, right? So you're not alone. And if you're a woman, professional, mom, you are definitely higher in the spectrum of people who really feel it in a more frequent way. So it's normal, it's global, it's sad, but it's a reality. Now we need to act on it. We need to do something about it, because sometimes people are really hard on themselves. Sometimes it's too much on the frustration, anger, and that sort of not acceptance, but actually being very, very, very hard on us. So that's something that we really need to take care of. So what to do when we are experiencing this? First of all, we need to know that it's a feeling, it's not an actual fact. And that's important to be aware of it. It's important to name it. Why? First, a different part of your brain is going to get activated actually if you name it, if you're aware of it. So suddenly, at least one part of your brain gets a little bit released of that pressure. That's important. But secondly, it's actually good for you to understand that if it's a feeling, you can actually have a little bit of control of how to reduce it by naming it and putting the facts there that actually make you feel that way. In other words, simply separate what is the feeling and what are the facts, and make sure that this is not really who you are. It's just a temporary feeling that, makes you ask yourself some questions. That's the first thing. Just name it. Be aware of it. That's very good. The second tip is about list the facts. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are just a response of your body to act in a particular way. Those are not facts. Facts are simply things, events that have happened in reality, that are happening right now, really done by you, that really they can actually be verified in reality. So when you actually enlist those facts and you actually see them, well, that imposter syndrome has to go away, at least reduced. Why? Well, simply because you see that those things are actually what you have achieved, what you have done. Nobody can take that away from you. So that is a way to reduce that enormous pressure that sometimes we put. In addition, it's also important to say that when you actually enlist the facts of what is a potential failure, you can actually act on it. In other words, let's say that you're about to launch, like we are going to do, right? We won't know exactly if all the things that we want are going to be successful. Nobody can know this. However, we can start analyzing and predicting the possible things that can go wrong so we can actually prepare, but not with the purpose of being completely perfect, flawless, or things like that. Is not about that. It's more about having more opportunities to validate, to have more opportunities to grow, to make progress. So the perspective is a little bit different. It's not about being strict to yourself that you have to achieve this in a very flawless way. It's more about, you're going to try things out. You're going to start a project. You're going to try and create and add value for society because it's a nice project. Well, let's take it like that, Be open to change and open to this possibility of flaws. Okay. The third tip, which is something that we have been working on a lot in our team, is definitely shifting from a perfectionism point of view to a more kind, compassive, and open to progress and learning kind of perspective. So some women, and in general, professionals, I'm not saying that this only women, affects more women, but tend to be a little bit perfectionist in a way that things need to be in a specific way, and we are very fixed on those thoughts, and that can generate a lot of pressure. What we're trying to do is simply, we're aiming high, knowing that we are not going to achieve all of that. We know that. We achieve high, but perhaps we end up achieving for the launch half of it, maybe 3/4, maybe a quarter. We don't know. We can promise you that we are working really hard to get many of those things done, but most likely it won't happen 100%. Maybe we will have failures in the event. Maybe we will have failures on the website. Maybe we will have failures in the technical aspects of the course that we are doing. Maybe some of the posts will have typos. God knows. That's not the point. The point is not being super fixed on correcting the mistakes, but actually being open, like, this is a human thing. We are creating a lot of things. We have been working very, very hard for many, many months. Actually, you have been witness of this progress. And sometimes it works perfect. Sometimes it's not going to work perfect. And that's okay. So that's the main recommendation. Don't be so hard with yourself, and definitely trust the progress that you have done, because it's actually not the end that what really matters, because in the progress on the way is where you actually have fun, when you feel things. And when you actually feel this sort of fear, right? That is fun also, because what is fear? Is actually this emotion that protects yourself, protects your well-being, because when you are scared, is your body telling you that something is uncertain in the environment and you have to either fight, freeze, or flee. So you have to act. Fear actually protects your well-being by motivating you to act somehow. So we also need to experience fear. We need to embrace fear once in a while. And we just need to flow with it. So if you have been experiencing some kind of imposter syndrome, let us know. We are very happy to be in almost the end of our series, since our market launch will be on the 10th of September. So we are aiming high, but probably it's not going to be like that. We don't know. But at least we are having a lot of fun. I also want to thank once again to the group of the Female Founders Lab of the Vienna Business Agency. We have an amazing space there. They are so inspiring, awesome women, all of them. and I love them. They are really, really special to me, and I feel that I have grown so much with them. So I'm very, very thankful to all of you girls. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment, anything you want. And see you next time. Keep being inspired.